Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
And my name is Dyl, and we have something really cool that we're switching up this week. And we've been doing drafts here on the show, but this time we're doing a bracket. You know, it's March, and it's time for some March Madness. But as Matt just said, this is a show where we turn movies into sports, and sports is something we don't talk about. So we're just doing that. Instead of being basketball teams, we have all film in this bracket. We have Oscar nominees, we have stuff that got snubbed, and we also have some really big movies as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything here. And if you don't follow, because we don't talk about sports here, if you don't follow March Madness, that's okay. I don't follow March Madness either, but I love me a good bracket. So what we're doing here, we've got tons and tons of movies, and in the description of this YouTube video right here, we have a prediction form. So you can fill out that prediction form. Please do. Put all of your predictions in for what you think each round is going to turn out as, all the way to the winner. Submit your predictions, and the winner, the person who gets closest to the actual outcome of this tournament, will be getting the poster of their choice out of all of the films that we have listed here. You can choose any of these, and we will send you a poster of that movie if you win this tournament. So please get in there, lock in your picks, submit them. You have 1 week from now. So until the end of, I think it's going to be March 19th that we're going to close it down. I think it's going to be around March 17th that we're going to close this poll down. So get your predictions in before March 17th. And if you get them in, then you might just get a prize. So get those going.
So for this bracket itself, essentially every film that got an Oscar nomination, they're the automatic bid. So using the sports analogies here, like the Duke winning the ACC or a school winning the Pac-12, they get the automatic bids. And the top 10
I have
slates,
no idea what that means, Dylan. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. We don't talk about sports
We
here,
don't
right?
talk about sports here. But for the people who do get it, that's kind of how this works. The top 10 seeds are all the Best Picture nominees. So Everything Everywhere is our number 1 overall seed because it seems like it's going to win Best Picture. Triangle of Sadness is the number 10 seed because it's the least likely. After that, the next seeds in order would be the above-the-line nominees. So stuff like The Whale, like Living, like Glass Onion, stuff that fit in those acting or screenplay categories fill up those next bunches. And then after that was a free-for-all for all the international nominees, the documentaries, the animated movies, then stuff like cinematography and editing and sound and visual effects, that's stuff that were not already mentioned from before. At that point, we had about 30 or so movies, so I opened it up to people on Reddit and the Oscar forums, as well as our Discord, asking, hey, what movies would you like to see get in? Some snubs to be our at-large bids. Those movies include stuff like Nope, The Woman King, Decision to Leave, and our rightful documentary feature winner, Jackass Forever. So we have a whole list of movies for a total of 68. So I'm going to hand it back over to Matt to talk about this bracket just a little bit more.
Okay, so I love this type of thing. I love the matchups. I love seeing where everything's going. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat, we all know Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win the entire thing, right? We
Most
know
likely.
That's going to happen. But the fun part about this is not just figuring out what's going to be the final winner, it's figuring out what's going to win every step along the way, right? There are some tough matchups. Open up that prediction form right now. You'll see some crazy matchups even in the first round, right? We've got RRR up against Decision to Leave right away. That is a crazy matchup. And that's one that I feel like could go either way, and I am so curious where it's going to go. Then there's some other ones that just get me so excited to see where they go. Living versus The Menu. That's one that I feel like could go either way, and I have no idea where it's going to go. Or Pinocchio versus Till. I think it's going to go Pinocchio, but you know what? There are a lot of Till fans out there that could really push that above. But there are so many matchups here that get me so excited to see what goes on. I think the biggest wild card that I have questions about is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. How far is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish going to go? Because people fucking love that movie.
it has a pretty good outlook, at least. I will mention I made this bracket. Nothing here was specifically set up to go against each other. Like I mentioned before, I ranked them preemptively like that. So like the top 10 best pictures, everything like that. For example, the Batman and Nope are two of my favorite movies of the year. They're squaring up in the first round. But for that Puss in Boots angle, round one, it gets Tell Like a Woman. That seems like a pretty easy win. And then it's going to have to face Avatar, The Way of Water. If it can make it past Avatar, it could make it all the way to the Elite Eight. Because the rest of its little bracket is The Triangle of Sadness, The Sun, Bardo, and The Good Nurse. So the winner of Avatar and Puss in Boots looks like it has a pretty easy path, just that's a incredible round 2 matchup. Before we dive into the round of 64, I want to give some love to some other movies. So we do have a play and round, and most of these movies are stuff that you would never think of when it comes to the Oscars. It was just some extra movies I want to show some love to. I got some shout outs in our Reddit post that we did for like what movies would you want to see. So our initial round, our play-in games essentially are Pearl versus X, Jackass Forever versus Bros, Barbarian versus The Northman, and Minions Rise of Gru versus Wendell and Wild, which I think these are all pretty neck and neck, and I could see them go either way.
Yeah, well, you can vote for these right in our description.
Yeah, you can vote for these right now.
We've got our Google form there. It's right below the predictions form, so go and vote for these play-in categories right now, these wild card picks. So for the wild card picks, let's talk our picks for each of these. Let's start off with play-in round 1. This is Pearl versus X. I'm going Pearl here. I know you're going to go with X because you don't like Pearl, but personally, I think that what Ty West and Mia Goth did with both of these movies is, in X, they went with that Texas Chainsaw Massacre style kind of slasher movie, and with Pearl, it's much more of an atmospheric horror, I guess. It's barely a horror. It's just about the performance. And it's got some horror aspects to it, but I like that kind of Wizard of Oz feel that it has. So Pearl, for me, is the clear winner here.
I mean, I like X more, but the internet clearly loves Pearl more. So I'm pushing Pearl through for my predictions. When I vote for myself, I'm going to vote for X, but predicting wise, I'm going Pearl, and that's also how I feel in the second matchup. I may prefer Jackass Forever, but I don't know many people who love that movie the way they love Bros, which Bros is a great movie as well. So I have Bros
but
beating
no one saw
Jackass
Bros.
Forever.
I have Jackass Forever beating Bros. I'm personally going to be voting for Bros, but I guess the issue with Bros is that it went so underseen. People didn't go see it, and they're still not seeing it. It's not on any streaming platforms. Maybe if it had hit Netflix by this point, it would be huge. But it hasn't. It's just a digital rental that it doesn't seem like anyone has really gone for. Billy Eichner he shot his own movie in the foot by pushing the aspect of it being, if you see this movie, you're virtuous because it's the first movie of its kind. It's not the first movie of its kind. It's just a great fucking rom-com. There was other gay rom-coms this year alone. There was Fire Island this year. No one cared about what Billy Eichner was saying about Bros. He didn't sell that it was a funny movie, and so people didn't see it. So, I don't know.
You know
Personally, my pick between this and Jackass Forever is I am going to vote for Bros, but I think Jackass Forever is going to win.
You make a great point. I'm switching my prediction over Jackass Forever. Next matchup, though, I think is our most tight of this first round. We have two horror movies that do it in a little bit of a different style. Because you could say Barbarian's a horror movie. You could also say it's a comedy. The Northman, you could say it's a horror movie. You could also say it's a thriller. I don't know what to do here. Because I know there's a lot of people online who love The Northman. But I also think that may be a vocal minority because it did not do well at the box office, just like you mentioned for Bros. While Barbarian did very well and it had great word of mouth. So I think I'm going Barbarian here in round 1, but I could easily see Northman upset with the popular vote.
Yeah, I think that, my vote here is going to be Barbarian easily. I think it's one of the best horror movies of the year. But you're right, there is a huge online fan base for The Northman, so I'm going to say I think The Northman will win, but Barbarian is my pick.
And our last matchup of this play-in round is kind of a funny one. These are two movies that people thought maybe could get nominated for Best Animated Feature, but obviously did not make the final cut. We have Wendell and Wild and Minions Rise of Gru. I think this would be the biggest blowout of round 1, and I could see Minions take this with like 80+% of the vote.
Yeah, I guess people will vote for Minions because of the meme. It's not gonna win based on the movie, but no one saw Wendell and Wild. and Minions is a meme. So people will vote Minions, I think. I mean, I haven't seen Minions, so I'm going to have to abstain from this round.
Well, that was our predictions here for the play-in round. We are going to do our predictions on each round each week. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because you don't want to miss up on our updates every week, as well as missing your opportunity to vote, because obviously we're going to be posting on Reddit, posting on Discord, posting on TikTok. But you want to be one of the first people to vote because you don't want to miss your chance to have your voice heard. Matt, do you have any last things you want to mention here?
No, I'm just excited to get into this. We're going to be doing this up until the middle of April. So it's not even March Madness. It's kind of like middle of April Madness, I guess.
Hey, we're starting in March. The NCAA tournament kind of does the same thing. They start off in March, and then the championship game is in early April. So we're kind of copying that. But as I know, we don't talk sports here on this show. But as mentioned before, make sure to check out the description right now because the voting is open for these playing games as well as the predictions option, because who doesn't want a free poster? I mean, I have a weekend one up here, but I do have an avatar winner right over there. So if you want a Way of Water, you want an Everything Everywhere, you want a Puss in Boots, whatever it is, if you get the best prediction accuracy, you're going to win it.
Yeah, you got to beat us, though. You got to beat us in this game.
You do, and I promise there's no tomfoolery or anything like that. Once predictions are locked, everyone's predictions will be there available to be seen ahead of time, and the results will be posted publicly at the end of each week so you can see how close each matchup was. Because as mentioned before, when we get to the round of 64, RRR versus Decision to Leave, the Batman versus Nope, those could be 51-49 percentages matchups, so I'm really excited.
I am too. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you for voting. Go and fucking vote, man. Do it right now. Do it. Please. Vote. 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 But as always, my name is Matt.
And my name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.